remember it like it was yesterday, sitting on my brother's bed, watching him play Destiny, defeating countless epic bosses. Little did I know that approximately 2 years later, I would get his PS4 and be able to play Destiny on my own. I'll never forget the memories I spent walking around the farm, exploring different places, and my favorite activity, collecting exotic weapons. I truly believe that Destiny is a great game, and once you decide to give it a chance, beside all of the hate that it's been receiving, it can really be a fun time, and there is so much content for you to explore. Although the game has come to an end, there's still so much left to do, and I believe that it still has life in it that we can continue to enjoy. Now, unlike many other people who play Destiny 2 for the first time, I didn't really play it in the traditional sense. Like when I was a kid, I didn't really like following the actual storyline of the game. I just liked doing whatever I wanted to do, and Destiny was perfect for that. I went to different planets, explored, collected loot, and just had a great time. Even once I decided to get more serious into it in this past year, I did all of the storyline and I didn't have any issues following that. However, this video is made for those people who did have issues, because although I didn't really have issues with the new player experience, now that I'm going through it, I'm seeing how other people might have issues, and I want to help out and share my opinion on how you should start playing the game and how you can easily get into it. So in this video, I'll be sharing different tips on how you can get started. I'll be going through each of the features of the game, and yeah, just make it a lot less overwhelming, because part of the thing with Destiny is that there's so many menus, there's so many things that can overwhelm a new player. But once you understand what each things do, you can embrace it and have really good time with it, in my opinion. Now, in order to share all of the things I have to share with you, I will be starting my own account from scratch. It's gonna be completely empty, so that I can go through the tutorial, because I know that loads of people struggled with the tutorial. I'll go through some of the lore and try to simplify it down so that you can understand it as well. So when you first get into the game, you'll start by picking different subclasses. The Titan subclass is more of your tanky fighter subclass, where you're going to be pushing through enemies and be very confrontational. And then you have the Hunter subclass, which will be your more, as it says, agile, daring. You're going to be jumping around, being quick. Then you have the Warlock subclass, which is more of your support healer type subclass, I guess. If you've played other games, you would understand it more like that. I'm gonna go with Titan for this one. And you get to customize your character, picking your different races. You have human, awoken, exo. And then, yeah, I'm gonna be making my character really quickly. Okay, this is my pretty much finished creation. Something that I like about this game is all of the customization you can do, making your own character. So once you get into the game, something that it'll first show you is the cutscene, which explains all of the lore basically. I find the first part extremely interesting, but if you want to watch it yourself, you can go to the game and of course you'll watch it. So the premise of Destiny is that there's this ancient structure called the Traveler, which is sort of like a planet, as you can see there, the big white ball basically, and it provides this light energy that blesses any civilization it comes into contact with with like all kinds of perks like tripling lifespans, bringing them technology, etc. And however, the traveler is being chased by a darkness, because where there's light there's always dark, and this darkness has a goal with the traveler, which I'm not going to spoil because that's a key part of the story. So the traveler has to flee different planets that it stays on, and of course after fleeing those planets, the traveler is no longer able to bless those alien life forms, as you can see there, with this light. So those aliens start looking for the traveler, where they come to Earth, and those are going to be your enemies of the game. When you first come into the game, you're going to come into contact with a couple of different races. You have the Fallen, you have the Hive, and you have the Vex, which you get later on. There will also be different other ones like the Taken. They're all different alien races that sort of make the amount of enemies in the game abundant and more interesting. That's one of the main reasons why I find it interesting to explore different planets, and it's a good pro of the game. And then finally you have the Witness, which is the darkness that has been hunting the traveler. So this is where we come in. We are revived by the Ghost, which is an offspring of the traveler. They can basically revive any guardian, which is you, and yeah, they can revive you anytime, making you basically immortal as long as the Ghost is not destroyed. And yeah, he tells you that you've been dead a long time and that he's going to revive you so that you can fight off the Fallen and become a guardian. After you follow a few checkpoints, you'll get your first gun and be introduced to the best part of the game, the gunplay. The gunplay is extremely satisfying, and I genuinely think it's some of the best in the gaming genre. I mean, Bungie have been quite good at it since they created Halo.
Stay focused. If your tracker blinks, there's trouble nearby.
Once you get out of the indoor areas, you'll be met with the outside world, where it's busy and full of players, and there'll be a live event. But as you're meant to do in most of this game, just continue following the checkpoints. Don't worry about the loot. I mean, you can pick up the box if you want to, but walking around and doing all sorts when you see a bunch of players, just don't do it. Just follow the objective and you won't get lost. Like, I mean, before Destiny used to have worse objectives where they didn't quite show you that well where to go, but as you can see here in the footage, there's a little white rectangle and also there's a triangle on the map. Although I'm just playing around for fun because that's how fun the gunplay is. But yeah, that on the map it shows you an arrow of where to go, so you just head there and you follow where Shorhan is showing you where to go. After following the very straightforward quest line where you're just going to objectives, completing what it tells you, you'll be met with this, probably the scariest part of the tutorial. As you can see there's the Hive and the Thralls, to be specific. They're very creepy looking and they definitely bring a horror element to Destiny, which other enemies I can't agree would do such a similar effect. Now soon after this you'll be met with the fast travel option, where you don't hold down return to orbit, which will just take your spaceship up into the sky, but you don't have a spaceship so you can't do it, so you have to do fast travel. You don't look at any of the other things on the map, like looking around the map. You just want to go straight to that big arrow and then there'll be a blue circle indicating that you have to go there. So you click it and then you fast travel to Shohan, where he is going to give you a quest to continue your noob experience, I guess.
That's signal interference. Even the light has limits. Sometimes you don't come back.
After Shohan finishes yapping, he'll give you your first weapon, and you'll after that be met with a exotic quest, which will sort of promote the new campaign. You don't need to worry about that, just ignore it. It's something that you pay for, and it's an end game quest line that you can do later. So after you're done speaking to him, press the sync with Shoreship. His name is hard to pronounce for me. And you'll basically be met with the feature to skip the new light. And so what you want to do is you just want to skip the new light. I know this is like something that people think, well, you shouldn't do that. Well, I think you should, because the new light experience, like the quest itself is not really going to get you into this game. It's kind of boring. I would personally fully replace that. But what you want to do is you want to go straight to the tower, because then after you go to the tower, you get introduced to all of the NPCs, and then you're able to launch all of the quests that you can actually find interesting and get into the game. So the first thing you want to do when you get to the tower, you land and you'll have a cinematic, of course. Then you're going to go to Ikora Ray, and she's the Warlock Vanguard, which means she's the leader of all of the Warlocks. As you saw at the beginning, there's a Warlock race. Each person has a Vanguard, and what you want to do is you want to select the new light kit, which is going to help you get started and give you all of the loot that you need in order to progress with the story. So you want to walk up to her, and you want to claim.
Quickly.
You can choose whichever subclass you want, and so you just click on new light kits at the bottom, and then I selected the Arc Titan, and it'll give you an exotic weapon, a legendary weapon, and some rare armor. So I just clicked the Arc Titan, and as you can see, it gives you a bunch of other stuff which I'll get into later exactly what they do. So I got the Risk Runner, which is a very good exotic that I still sometimes use to this day. The armor, also a legendary class item, which is quite good. You have your Arc subclass. So after you leave Ikora Ray, you want to go into your character menu, and then you want to press the rank 1 button, which is going to show your Guardian rank. You want to click that and then claim this quest. So after you claim the Vanguard, you'll be able to reach Explorer level 2, which allows you to go to other planets. And yeah, there'll be Guardian level 3, although I stayed on 2 for a long time because I didn't want to do the quest of the new expansion, which it forces you to do in order to reach level 3. I didn't want anything spoiled until I actually got there, so I completed the other expansions first before reaching Guardian level 3. So then afterwards you want to head upstairs. You want to keep going upstairs where it's showing you to go, and then we're going to go to Commander Zavala, which is the Titan Vanguard. You're probably going to be talking to whichever class you picked. So you're gonna go to the top of the tower. Don't mind everything. It looks overwhelming, it looks full, but just go straight to your target. Don't go for the tree. That was my mistake, because usually you have to go for that. But yeah, go to Commander Zavala if you're a Titan, of course, and then you select what you need to select, and then afterwards you go up to the tree where I went before, and then you do like a little pose, and you unlock Guardian rank 2, and it'll do these cool little effects and give you a bunch of stuff that you don't need to read. Just ignore everything for the moment. Okay, so now that you've done this, you can go to destinations, and as you can see, all of the planets are unlocked.
Ready for reassignment.
So now I'm going to show you all of the NPCs that you can go to. So first up, we're going to go to this vendor down here. You're going to walk down, and then you have Tess Everest. And she's basically like a shop. She shows featured daily things that you can buy with money, of course. It's basically where you want to go to for all of your skins, or in this case ornaments. And down here you can also buy stuff with bright dust, which you can get for free. So you have stuff you can pay for, and then you have stuff that you can get for free, like emotes. Then you have shaders, which basically add colors to your armor. I'll show you now. So you have your armor, and each set of armor can have a shader that you can apply on. You can also apply it onto the weapons. So you could talk to her, and then yeah, you can also buy the ornaments, which are, of course, as I said before, they are your skins. You can get a Darth Vader skin. You can get all kinds of skins in this game because of there's so much customization. It's great. Down here you have all of the expansions that you can buy for the game. I'll show you later how you know which ones to buy if you're into that. Then over here we have Caddy 55, the Postmaster. Over here is where you're going to be getting all of the loot that, because there's only a certain amount of slots, as I'm going to show in a second. If you drop weapons from that slot, so let's just say you fill out all of the slots of that weapon because you've picked up so many weapons, all of the ones that get dropped that you can't fit anymore, all of those ones, look, you only have 9 slots, all of those ones go to the Postmaster, and anything that you haven't picked up during the game will also go to the Postmaster, so you can claim it there. Also you have Master Rahul, the Cryptarch, and as you can see here, he sells a bunch of ships and vehicles, but he also takes basically you get an exotic enneagram. You go to him, and then you can click on it, and then he'll help you open it up so that you get a random weapon or armor drop. Yeah, and then in a second I'm gonna click onto there's 2 arrows around the cube. So over there is, yeah, well, here's the material exchange where you claim you can get a bunch of stuff for different materials, and you can exchange materials for different materials. Here you can exchange different items that you collect for exotic enneagrams that you've already had before and you just want to get them again. And then on the next page, you have items that you haven't had before, but then they require an exotic cipher, which you need to do quests and different stuff to get.
All that is required is the right key.
Over here you have Banshee 44, where he basically sells weapons that change each week, and you can go around all of the different maps, and when you open chests you get gunsmith enneagrams, or yeah, whatever they're called, but yeah, the type of enneagram that you can use to exchange for these different weapons. And you can also open the enneagrams to get different weapons from them as well. So yeah, it's a pretty useful guide to get yourself a bunch of good legendary loot, which changes around every week. There's another mission which is exotic. As I said before, you don't need to worry about those exotic missions just yet, because they're mostly pay to win stuff. Not pay to win, but you have to pay to access them, basically. Over here is where if you get something for free, it's called special deliveries. If Bungie's giving out stuff for free, the company that made Destiny, they'll give you it in here, and then you can just claim it. Like for example, over here they've given me a bunch of free stuff. So over here you have the man, the myth, the legend, Lord Shax, who is in charge of the Crucible. You got your PvP game modes that you can play on Destiny, and yeah, he'll give you a bunch of different stuff for completing Crucible quests. He'll also give you a skin for the ghost if you want it. I'll show you how to equip that. So here you go, you just click on it and then it equips it, and as you can see there, the ghost now looks great. You can also apply different shaders to your helmets, and Lord Shax gives you one shader. As I was showing, you can buy them from the shop and you can buy them from some NPCs. So you click on your helmet, you go down, you press S. You don't press on the gun mods, you don't need to worry about those for now. Yeah, so you go down and then you press on the shader that you want to apply. You click apply, and then now it looks fantastic. You can also press S to go down again and then go to appearance customization, and you can apply a shade, any shader that you want to the whole armor set. It looks good. Okay, now you can also go to the vehicles and apply different shaders. There's also different horns you can apply for the hover bike as well, and you can go to the spaceship and also apply different skins and stuff. You can customize everything pretty much. Yeah, so down here is where you have the stuff from the new update, the Monument of Triumph update. You don't need to worry about those just yet because you can't claim them, but later on you're gonna, I mean, I don't recommend doing this because you just get a bunch of free stuff, but as a noob, like when you unlock that, you just get a bunch of free stuff. But yeah, you can use legendary marks. I mean, it's not really free since you work for them, but yeah, you can use legendary marks to buy all sorts of stuff, skins, weapons, anything you could really want. You can buy from there for the new update. So here's Zavala. So Zavala sells all kinds of different weapons and materials. Those are rank up rewards which NPCs give when you rank up doing quests for them. Yeah, so each week it will rotate and then you get one piece of Gear 5 armor. But yeah, you have to be a bit higher level to claim it, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so if you go down from the featured quests tab and then you go to the past, you're gonna see a bunch of stuff like Legacy of the Shadow Keep, Legacy the Witch Queen, Legacy Beyond Light, all of those stuff. And if you don't know, if you're there and you're like, wow, there's so much stuff that I haven't done and that's in the past, how am I meant to do all of that? So what you want to do is you want to go to the director. Sorry, just had to click on that real quick to get it away from the tutorial. Then you click on a thing called a timeline, and then over here it's going to show all of the past missions. So like you go to the hourglass, you click on timeline, and then it will show you continue the Fate Saga or revisit the old campaigns. So you just go back, you go all the way to the beginning, and then in the beginning you can read all of the, because Destiny has removed some campaigns due to the space requirements. They needed space for the newer campaigns, so you can read back on everything that's happened in the past over here for some of these old campaigns like Warmind, the Red War, Curse of Osiris. You can read everything that's happened, including like different seasons as well, what has happened in those seasons, etc. And you get to view cinematics as well. It's good. And you have a new player guide on the top. You can scan that if you want to have a guide that the game provides itself. So yeah, the Red War, Curse of Osiris, Warmind, you're gonna read up on all of that over there. So yeah. And then if you click the page next, you're going to get Forsaken, which is the first campaign where you get to actually play the story. It's the oldest one. So you get to read up on what happens. And yeah, it's probably one of the greatest expansions according to most people. So you're definitely going to want to do that. So, as I said before, you can go to the side and then there's all of the different seasons and what happened in each season of the game. And you go down and you click that right there. And then that's where you get into the actual mission. So if you click on that and you select it, you launch the mission instantly. And I'm pretty sure this is a free mission that anybody can do. You don't have to pay for the Forsaken. But if you do pay for the Forsaken bundle, you do get a lot of good stuff. And it only costs like barely anything if you get a Steam key on it, so it's a really good purchase. I would recommend it because you get exotic ciphers, which you use to then get exotics. Then you have Shadowkeep, which is the next one, and then you have the next one. All of these expansions are there. You can read up about them and then you can jump straight into the campaign. From Shadowkeep, like, you can do the whole quest line on Shadowkeep. You can only do one quest on Forsaken, but for Shadowkeep you could do all of the quests, and all of the expansions from then on you could do all of the quests, which is really good to do. And yeah, I had a lot of good time doing all of the quests, unlocking all of the story. Yeah, it's pretty good. So getting onto the director itself, you have a bunch of planets that you can visit. I mean, at the beginning you can't visit places like Kepler, which my cursor was just, yeah, Kepler, and you can't visit the Southers. You can actually visit Southers, but you can't do Renegades. So you can go on Neomuna, you click on any planet, and well, Neptune, I mean. You can see that there's a bunch of different NPCs, but because you haven't done the first quest on Neptune, you can't actually explore that planet yet. So you have to, I'm pretty sure, do the first quest, and then after you've done the first quest, you're able to land on the planet and explore. So yeah, it's a pretty good planet. I would recommend exploring it and doing the Lightfall expansion for it. Even though it was quite an underperformed expansion, it was very fun, especially the subclass that you get from it. I still think that it was a pretty decent expansion, even though the story was not as good as the other ones. So yeah, I mean, you can go onto the Cosmodrome, as I'm showing as an example. You can do different strikes, which are different types of missions where it follows a storyline, and you have not really a storyline but a set of objectives, then you have a boss. So I want to jump into a new thing that Bungie has added, which is distortions, which they corrupt an area. You'll see like red effects in the sky in that area, and they'll basically buff enemies to make them more powerful. And yeah, it's quite a fun thing to deal with, because not only do you verse more powerful enemies, because the enemies in the open world are usually quite weak, you also get loot from it, which is quite good. Okay, so this is the Eternity page where you have Dares of Eternity. Dares of Eternity is an activity where you fight waves of enemies decided by a wheel spin, and the wheel will spin at the start of the round. It'll decide the enemies, then you fight waves of them, complete the objectives. Meanwhile, the battle's continuing, and you have 3 stages of this. And yeah, it's overall a great experience. After you complete Dares of Eternity, you get a bunch of loot, and then you get treasure keys, which you use at Zer's Treasure Hoard. And when you use them at Zer's Treasure Hoard, you can claim a bunch of different items and weapons. And if you have the 30th anniversary Bungie pack, which is like a paid expansion again, you can get more loot than you can usually get in the Treasure Hoard. And Grasp of Avarice is a dungeon, which is sort of like a raid or like strike, except it's far more intense and harder. And yeah, that also requires the 30th anniversary bundle. So going on to the sections at the bottom, you start with the Vanguard Ops, which you open it up and then you do a bunch of different strikes. This is where you get your strikes out. You have Quick Play Master, Exodus. The harder the difficulty, essentially, where you go up this scale, the better loot you get. And down here you have all of the different missions you can do, and you can unlock more if you have more expansions, essentially. And yeah, this is a pretty good thing to do if you want to catch up to the levels, because in Destiny you have different power levels and you start at 300, then you continue. And yeah, this is a pretty good way. You have Pinnacle Ops. All of these are different missions that you can do to get better weapons. Like you have exotic missions at the bottom, have solo missions, arena missions, all sorts, loads of content for you to do if you're on your own as well. So yeah, I keep on accidentally clicking on this tab. This is where you're inviting your friends. You just right click on a planet or something, you invite friends to your planet. You can have Steam Epic Game friends. They'll be lined up over here depending on your launcher. You invite them to your fire team, then you can do any activity you want together. So you go to Crucible over here. Here's where you're able to select all of your PvP and PV. No, not PV, my bad. All of your PvP modes, and you have your Sparrow Racing League where you can use your hover bikes to, as you can see here, I have my hover bike, and you can use it to go on different races on different maps. It's one of my favorite events that you can do on this. So yeah, and also you have all of your competitive modes, like where you're going to be fighting other players, taking control of the areas. You have a private match where you can go up against your friends if you want to. Yeah, there's lots of different PvP options. You also have another one called Gambit Ops, which is PvP PvE, player versus player and player versus environment mixed into the same game mode. So you'll be fighting an enemy, then you'd have to fight other players as well at the same time. It's a pretty good one, but I would say that it's not as popular nowadays, so you might struggle a little bit getting into a match. Over here you have your raids and dungeons tab. I would say that this is kind of a lot like the Vanguard one, the strikes before, but as I said, dungeons, raids, those kinds of stuff are a lot harder, and you're gonna need your friends to come with you essentially. Missions, and you have a boss. In Pantheon you're mainly fighting bosses. It's not really that much objective based. You have a really cool bosses and then you go and defeat them. So now going onto your map, you have all of these different locations on the tower that you can go to, but then you also have the shooting range button right there. If you see it, it's kind of like a big symbol. You can click on it and then you go there. You can defeat different enemies and spawn them in and test out different builds. You get your infinite abilities, infinite ultimates, so that you can test out anything that you want to test out, like different builds, see if they're good enough. But yeah, so someone that I want to show you quite importantly is the quests tab, where you have your Monument of Triumph rewards rank at the top. Then over here you have your featured quests, which it's going to show you all of the quests that the game recommends you to do, all of the quests that they think that you've tracked or something like that. And yeah, you're going to be able to go onto those. You're also going to be able to have your quest tab underneath, which shows every single quest you've ever had. So over here it shows the recommended tabs, the quests, and then you have all of your quests at the bottom. So if this tab is kind of useless, I would say, because usually it would be easier to find your quest on the other tabs. But yeah, if you're looking for a specific quest that you can't find on the other tabs, you can find it here. Let's just say you're looking for a weapon quest, not an exotic quest, because you have the exotic tab at the bottom. But let's just say you're looking for a legendary weapon test quest or armor set that you want to do, you can go here for the quests. Here you have your new light quests in the next tab, which I'm going to show you in a second. So if you click on the new light tab, you have a spark of new hope, which is the quest that you do as a beginner. There'll be all kinds of new quests up here. You have your renegades, which is the new biggest expansion. Of course you have the Monument of Triumph update, but that's not an actual expansion itself. So you have the renegades expansion, which is the expansion that you have story. The playlists, let's just say you're doing an expansion already, it will set it over here, and then you just play through the playlists of different expansions. Exotic here, as I said before, if you're looking for an exotic armor piece quest, you find it down there. Of course you can find it over here, but it's better right here. So, and if you go down, you have the past, which will show you all of the past expansions that have previously existed that you have quests for. So let's just say you're missing out on something, you can find it there. You have your reward pass. Of course, almost every single game nowadays has like a battle pass type thing, referencing Fortnite or like Rocket League, Apex, all of them have it. You have free section on the top, and then you have a paid section at the bottom. It's quite expensive, so I wouldn't buy it myself, because you could just, at the top, you can work for everything that's down there. It just takes a lot longer. So if you want to pay to win, you can just go down there. The store, this is kind of like that NPC I showed you before at the start. It will show you all of the same stuff, except it will have bright anagrams. I don't know if the other one had that. But yeah, you can exchange stuff you get in the battle pass for that. So an NPC you're going to want to know about that's a bit special from the other NPCs is Zer again. Zer was in Eternity, and now he makes a quick travel to the tower, where every weekend from Monday to Friday at certain times, I know that on the weekend it's every day, like 24 hours, but on Monday to Friday it will be on certain times. This is where you get all of your exotic gears from. He does material exchange, and you get this exotic gear from getting your strange coins. Strange coins, as I'm going to show in a second, is where it's going to lead me to the seasonal hub, where you have different activities that you can do, different challenges each day, and then after you claim the challenge that you've done, you get different weekly rewards. Like over here it gives you 17 strange coins, and use those strange coins to get stuff from Zer. So if you go to Zer now, see he has a bunch of weapons for armor for sale, and once you buy stuff from him, you can get rank rewards as well, because it builds up experience with him. You go to the side, he offers more strange offers where you can exchange strange coins for materials. Then over here you have an exotic cipher, which you can use to claim different exotics in other tabs. And you have strange gear offers, you click on that. Over here he has different exotic weapons that change every week, and then you can also claim an exotic anagram, which gives a random exotic that's not on the roster over there. You have your catalysts right next to the exotics as well, which upgrade the exotics. Then you have also legendary weapons, which change every week. He'll give any legendary weapons really good options most of the time. Then you have armor at the bottom. All of those anagrams with the IX on them, they'll be used for different weapons from Zer and different armor pieces from Zer as well. Hopping over to Ikora, I'll show you what she does. She's quite important. I showed you in the beginning where you collect your new light kit.
The harmony in the tower can lead
But
to
yeah,
unity in the war.
if I show you,
Perhaps not.
so if you go up here, you have your subclasses, and I picked the Arc subclass, but you have two others which you can also unlock, And if you click on them, so over here you have a bunch of different stuff which kind of looks quite overwhelming, but if you're from Destiny 1 as well, it would look overwhelming, but it's quite simple actually. So over here you have your aspects, here you have your ultimate abilities. You can pick different ultimate abilities, whichever one you like, or whichever one is the most powerful for you, you just select that one. And on the side you have all of your abilities, which you can also change out: your jump style, your grenade, your melee. Over here you have the aspects, and then down there you have the fragments, which they all have different buffs. The aspects have much more powerful and a bit more complex buffs that they give you, and you can get all of this stuff from Ikora, which I'll show in a second. But yeah, the fragments, plus 10 melee. While surrounded by combatants, you are more resistant to incoming damage. So all of this is stuff to do with your build. You change them out and swap them out for different ones depending on which build you're trying to go for. So yeah, it's quite simple once you get the hang of it. Down there you have your stats, which will show different numbers depending on your armor sets. Your armor gives you different stats, which I'll show in a bit as well. Yeah, so over here you have your weapon stats, no, your armor stats, my bad. Your armor stats, you get different ones based on different armors. Each one has different ones, and they all add together to make you stronger. So once you go to Ikora, you can select the quest from her. This is the timeline reflection, and then you have ornamental container, which contains all of your skins for your weapons, etc. And then here it will say grow your light, and you saw how there was a bunch of locked abilities and fragments and aspects and stuff. You go here, you select which subclass you're on. For example, I go over here and then I'll click on abilities. See how there's one right here that I haven't claimed. It will cost you some glimmer, but trust me, you'll become rich with glimmer.
Yes, of course.
And you buy it, and then it says meditation here because that's exactly what you want to do. So wait, up here you have some exotic quests which you don't need to worry about at the moment. They give you some exotic armor. So you go out over here, you press meditate, and then that's how you collect all of your abilities after you've brought them. And then when you go back to the menu, you can easily just equip it like that. It's as simple as this. It doesn't need to be any more complex. That's like, once you get your head around things, that's how easy it will genuinely be. Yeah, and that will be it for this video. I would say that after this point, you just want to explore and do whatever you want to do. Like, Destiny is such an open game that you can just genuinely do whatever you want to. If you want to follow the story, now I've shown you how you can do that. If you want to just explore, I've shown you how to do that. I know this video has not been very high quality, but I genuinely feel strong about this game, and I want people to know how to be able to just hop straight onto it. Have friends, let's just say if I want to invite a friend to play this game, I can show them this video, they can get right into the game. So that's why I have made this video today. I hope you enjoyed it and you learned something from the video, and yeah, I hope you enjoy playing Destiny if you get into it. If you don't, that's okay. It's not a game for everybody, but it's certainly a game for me.